directly from the students of Airwaves Media. Bringing you news in and around Alma High School. You're watching the Airedale.
Welcome to the Airedale. I'm Destiny Wheeler.
And I'm Ben Mitchell. Today we'll be covering History Day, professional learning communities, snow makeup days, plus much more, and coming up on the Airedale. This new semester definitely won't let you down. A whole new world comes around each semester at Alma High School. This one is certainly no exception. Listen to Caden Daspit as he delves into this new world here.
We're halfway there. It's the second semester at Alma High School, filled with new opportunities. After many snow days and one out for extreme weather, we're back and hitting the ground running. A small outlook. We've got many things coming up. History Day was last week, and we have a science fair upcoming. On top of that, basketball season is officially here. Classes have switched too. Schedule changes bring new opportunities, like for most seniors who'll be switching from econ to civics this semester. For others, it's a mean for new goals.
Rank up in ROTC to keep all A's.
Graduation is coming up in a few months, but we have many days ahead. So make sure to keep working and doing your very best all the way to the finish line. This has been Caden Daspit with Airwaves Media.
Students as well as teachers deserve to have a great experience while attending school. This is why the faculty of Alma School District participate in professional learning communities. Ben Mitchell takes a deeper look into this program.
At Alma High School, our teachers and faculty try their best to make education as effective and efficient as possible while allowing students to do things outside of the classroom to enrich their own social and personal lives.
The overall thing that we do at Alma High School is called our professional learning communities, where teachers get together and they talk about a lot of different things, but best practices and how we can assess and teach our students to the very best of our ability. And there's a lot of people that take place in that. We have PLC facilitators, our team facilitators who are behind me, and those represent our core subject areas, which is math, science, literacy, social studies. We also have our CTE and special ed departments a part of this. And so today I want you to be introduced to some of the people that make this happen, and that's what this video today is for.
Professional learning communities are a way for educators and collaborators to work together to think up and create ideas to help both students and teachers in the classroom.
When we think about the Alma High School mission and vision of what they want to become, then the PLC model is a means to that end. It's a way to ensure that our students are graduating with great choices for their future and learning at high levels and have great pathways after they leave Alma High School.
On Tuesdays we have meetings for our math department where we get together. Some of the things we work on is looking at adjusting our pacing schedule that we do for the year, making adjustments, especially in times like recent where we've had a lot of snow, trying to figure out how we're going to make those adjustments to meet the goals for the end of the year, talking about creating rubrics for testing, and basically just see what other modifications or anything like that we may need to do for students.
The CTE team is working on professional skills like collaboration, team building, and time management in our CTE classes.
I am the special education PLC facilitator. Our team is currently working with all departments, core departments, science, social studies, math, and English to collaborate to make kids more successful in the classroom.
My job is to facilitate the science team. We're divided into physical science, biology, and chemistry. We start off the year always by going through like essential standards from the state, making sure that we know what skills our students need to learn, what they need to be able to do as we progress through the year and as they progress from freshmen to sophomores to juniors to seniors. Once we get that laid out, then we will start working on how do we assess this, what does it look like, what do we really want them to be able to know and do when they leave our classrooms.
Our focus has been more on the lines of supporting literacy. Since our department will not be tested on the Atlas exam, we have decided we are best suited to support our literacy teams. So we have selected skills that will reinforce the skills that they are focusing on in their classrooms.
Our job and role at Alma High School is to basically make sure that we are doing our best with the curriculum and our instruction in our classrooms, that make sure that by the time you leave Alma High School that you can read and write to be successful for your future once you graduate.
This has been Ben Mitchell with Airwaves Media. Time, something that's limited to every one of us and everyone else. There are deadlines to meet, and with all this limited time, you've got to have a good way to manage it. We have Abigail Spencer to show us more on this topic.
Time management is a difficult skill that students often struggle with, especially when their schedules get busier. Every year, students have trouble balancing their personal life, schoolwork, extracurriculars, and jobs.
So if you've got a lot of work to do, it's not spending time on your phone or piddling around, it's sitting down and getting to work. Do your assignments the day that they're assigned. Don't wait till the weekend to hold yourself accountable. If you were working on a big assignment, sure, take a brain break, get up, walk around, but set a timer when you do that so that you come back and get things done later. Keeping a list, keeping a planner, they used to be called agendas, even if it's on your phone, there are some really, really good apps that are on your phone that you can use. Use your resources wisely. You've got a phone in front of your face all the time. Put your to-do list in there. You're not gonna lose your phone.
Effective techniques are the key to great time management skills. This has been Abigail Spencer for Airwaves Media.
For many years, Alma School District, along with many other school districts, use the Alice Protocol of rules for students and teachers to take during the event of an intruder. Here is Joshua Wagley explaining what these procedures are and when to take them into action.
Imagine you're in class and suddenly there's an urgent announcement over the speakers. It's not a drill. Your heart races as the Alice Protocol kicks in. Alert, lockdown, inform, counter, and evacuate. The Alice Protocol is used when an intruder enters the school building and the school goes into a lockdown. As said earlier, the acronym ALICE stands for Alert, Lockdown, Inform, Counter, and Evacuate. And if an intruder does enter the school building, these are the steps that we of Alma will take in order to minimize any casualties and help the students escape safely. Alert, the very first step in the ALICE Protocol. Once an intruder is identified in the building, the person who had seen them shall alert the office, and the protocol shall truly begin, and the office will alert the rest of the building of his location.
We have an active shooter in the 200 hallway wearing black.
Lockdown. This is the next step in the process of ALICE. If you cannot escape from the classroom safely, you then barricade the doors and release the door blinds that they recently installed. Do whatever you can to make sure the intruder cannot enter that classroom. Inform. During this step, the office informs the school of the intruder's positions when needed and keeps communication flowing so that if the intruder leaves an area that can allow for a class of students to escape, they will. Counter. This only applies if it is necessary to help escape the intruder. If the intruder enters the classroom, use any objects nearby as a weapon to throw and break the line of sight of the intruder, then run and continue to the final step. The final step of this process is evacuate. This is technically the main step and is the most important in these situations. If you are in an area that is safe enough to escape from, escape the building immediately and head to the Harps parking lot. Knowing the procedures is especially important for every person within the high school to completely and thoroughly understand for the safety of everyone. That is the ALICE procedures.
History Day has always been of huge importance to those in advanced history classes. Hard work and dedication is what it takes to succeed in order to make it to regionals and state competition. Chris French and Kenton Huggins reviews the ins and outs of this annual event.
AHS had their school-wide History Day competition on the 24th of January. The theme for History Day changes year to year, so let's see what the theme is this year.
The theme for the History Day this year was Turning Points in History.
We asked him about his project.
Mine was Otto von Bismarck and the unification of Germany, more specifically the formation of the German Empire.
We then asked about the judges and what he thought about their criticism and how it could help his project in regionals.
My judges, they gave me some very constructive feedback. The fact that he was able to look at my performance and give me such constructive criticism, as well as actually make sure I stayed on the straight and narrow with the history, I felt great, and I'm feeling more confident that my project is going to become more refined.
We would like to congratulate everyone who advanced to regionals, and we wish everyone in History Day good luck. This has been Kenton Huggins and Chris French for Airwaves.
The library has much to offer, from informative books all the way down to a nice quiet place to read them. Peyton Griffith speaks to our librarians about how they can help students succeed in their studies.
Libraries have a lot of books for kids to read and learn about to give you more information.
One of the biggest things that librarians can do to help students with studying, improving grades, is getting them the right resources. So we can put them in, give them just the right types of websites, study guides, books, reference materials, and then also provide help with their technology if they're having issues with the different tech interfaces that they're using.
Librarians can help improve grades and help students keep up with the belongings that they give us by emailing us every day to keep up with our stuff.
One thing that we can do, there's a few ways we can help students improve their grades. A lot of that is just giving them a good space to come in and work and study. We try to provide them with resources if they need help or assistance working on their History Day project or Science Fair project, printing their materials. We have a whole area dedicated just to projects.
This is Peyton Griffith with Airwaves Media.
It is always important to follow procedures in a fire drill, or any other drill for that matter. But what are the specific procedures and how can they save your life someday? Here's Shayla Ritchie to question what they are.
In a fire emergency, it's important to know where to evacuate to. Depending where you are and the time of the fire alarm goes off, depends on where you evacuate to. We spoke to Mr. Kirkendall about the evacuation procedures.
We have fire drills monthly because it's a state requirement. We try to make those where they're the least amount of disruption to the students during the day. So we try to have those during our 3A time, or like when we're doing announcements. And the reason we do it the way that we do it is so that it's not always feasible to exit the building every time you do it, because we have nearly 400,000 square feet of space, and you got lots of different doors, and so it's hard to communicate. So a lot of times I want students to be familiar with the sound of the fire alarm, all the fire doors shut, and also the fact that whenever you hear a fire alarm, do not exit the building unless you hear an announcement, because I don't want anybody to feel when they hear that the alarm go off that they feel like they have to exit the building at that time. We will tell you, make an announcement every time if we have you exit the building. And when we do exit the building, usually we just do it from certain areas at a time, like certain wings, so that everybody's not doing it at the same time. But we do it because it's a state requirement.
One thing every student should know is to never pull a fire alarm if there isn't a fire. If you do, the consequences will be severe.
If a student pulls a fire alarm, not only are you going to be disciplined as far as school is concerned, but it's also against the law because it's communicating a false alarm. So we have had students, very rarely, but it's been several years, pull a fire alarm, and they were suspended and issued a citation. The thing about pulling a fire alarm in this building is that every fire alarm is covered by a security camera. So if you do that, we're going to know where it is, because what we have on our fire system, whenever a fire alarm is pulled, it tells us what fire alarm was pulled. So it tells you very distinctly where the location was, so all we have to go back is look and see who did it.
You should always prepare yourself to know where you will need to evacuate in case of an emergency. This is Shayla for Airwaves Media.
Money is a big deal, especially to high school students who are working a job or have a car of their own. But what do students do with their leftover money after buying gas or paying the bills? Here's Peyton Phillips with more information on this topic.
Some students have jobs, which they make money from. But what do students really buy when they have extra money from buying gas or paying the bills?
If you're a teenager, if you've turned 16, you won't be able to pay for your own gas. And one great thing about, saving your money and in turn having money is independency. You don't have to rely on other people. That's what I'd say is one of the best things, because you don't have to ask other people to take you places, to buy your food. You can do it yourself, support yourself.
Students saving their money. It depends. Most likely, yes, I should suggest saving it, but also set some aside for yourself because you're in high school. Enjoy your life right now because it's going to get later.
Students might splurge on random items, as others leave the leftover money they use on necessities into savings. It is very much recommended to put leftover cash into savings rather than spending it on fast food, random things, and other objects. This is Peyton C. Phillips for Airwaves Media.
The time for seniors to make important decisions as to what their plans are for after high school is coming near. Kana Jones speaks to seniors about their plans.
One more semester and the seniors of 2024 will have graduated from Alma High. Many will either be sad, happy, or even a little nervous.
I'm very happy about it. I can't wait actually. It's been a long year so far, but I'm so excited to just leave high school, go to college.
There are plenty of options that they could do after high school, like go straight to college, take a gap year, or go straight into the workforce. We asked a couple of seniors what their plans are for after high school, and here's what they had to say.
College, I don't know which one yet. I applied to more than a couple, and yeah, I'm just gonna go to college and double majoring most likely.
Many seniors are already preparing for life after high school. We asked a few of them what they are doing to prepare for it, and here's what they said.
I think living abroad for 2 years is a good challenge to get used to, just be independent and take care of myself. So that's what I'm doing basically.
Whether you are setting your sights on college campuses, to the ones stepping straight into the workforce, or taking a leap into gap year, every path is lined with hopes and challenges.
Of course, money, because it's like America is way more expensive than where I'm from, and keep having visas, so I have to go back and come back here every time. It's gonna be hard, but it's worth it.
As we say our goodbyes to the class of 2024, we want to remind them that success comes in many forms.
Many graduates of Alma School District have moved on to become teachers after college, and some have chosen to come back to their alma mater to be influential to inspiring young minds. Hunter Cole takes a look into our teacher alumni.
When school staff graduate from college and start pursuing their dreams, they could work at any school with any grade that they want. However, some decide to go back to their hometown and work at the school that they had gone to. There are many here at Alma High School, including Mrs. Medina, a counselor here, to give her word.
Well, I went here basically my whole life. I went to Alma schools from the 3rd grade on anyway, and I graduated Alma High School in 1996.
Most were involved in high school activities such as band, choir, any clubs, and sports. Mrs. Medina was a smart student who was in AP classes, and she was also in band.
I was involved in things like band. I was kind of a band nerd. I played the oboe, and I kind of did all the AP things, and I had a really, most of my experience at Alma High School was really good. Most of my experience was.
When they graduate and start working, they could work at some schools and just not like it. In this case, they can switch to a different school to work at.
I had the opportunity to come back home. I had spent 8 years at Van Buren as a teacher. I had spent 2 years in Fort Smith as a school counselor, and then 4 years at Mulberry as a school counselor. And when the opportunity came to come back home, I couldn't really pass up the opportunity to at least try to come back home to my hometown where my daughter graduated high school. I graduated high school, and give back to the community that helped me out so much.
This is Hunter Cole with Airwaves Media.
Making New Year's resolutions has always been a huge part in our culture, as well as many others too. I'm not sure about you, but a full commitment is what I'm thinking of. Now here's Destiny Wheeler to explain more.
When you think of New Year's, what comes to mind? Is it that kiss at midnight, celebrating with your friends and family, or is it New Year's resolutions? Around 1/3 of Americans actually make a resolution, but less than 30% of them actually go through with it. But whether it is to get more fit or learn a new skill like archery so like be your best friend's little brother at something other than Monopoly, resolutions can build your self-confidence and provide you a chance to self-reflect and can overall improve your mental and physical health. But besides the money benefits, why do we make these goals? I mean, what is the point if only 30% of people will actually go through with it? Here's Haley Cook to answer this for us.
Everyone that I know that does make them makes them because it kind of feels like at the end of a year you're reflecting on everything you wish you had done the year before or envisioning where you want to be a year from there. And a New Year's resolution is kind of like a way to get there.
Even though we have these resolutions, why do we wait until New Year's instead of any other time of the year to complete them? I mean, is it because it's easier to track progress, or is it something else entirely? Let's hear what Faith Randolph has to say.
I think because at the end of the year you start looking back and you're like, wow, people think that they did a lot, people think that they didn't do a lot, and I think it's just a good time to reflect and be like, okay, this is where I want to make changes in my life.
I'm Destiny Wheeler with Airwaves Media. Hopefully the snow hasn't blinded you enough to see, but we've had a few snow days recently, with freezing rain as well as some thick snow. Luckily, the Alma School District has a plan to make up these lost days. Here's Sarah Nutt to guide us into the light of the subject.
A couple of weeks ago, Arkansas saw lots of snow and ice on their roads. Because of this, Alma High School had quite a few days out of session. While having these days off seems nice, most students will have to make up these days at the end of the year. You may be wondering why we don't have AMI days anymore. Well, that's because of the LEARNS Act that was passed last year. It requires that schools have 178 days on-site and in person. Dr. Duffy, the superintendent of Alma School District, has more on the matter.
So alternative methods of instruction is still allowed in law. However, we would need to have scheduled more than the required 178 days of in-person instruction. So if we scheduled 183 days of school and we miss 5 days, then we have the required 178 on campus.
Unfortunately, Alma School District will be having more days added onto their year, all thanks to snow and ice on their roads. Hoping you stayed warm, I'm Sarah Nutt with Airwaves Media.
The world around us has been changing rapidly. We've gone from computers the size of houses all the way to them being small enough to fit in your pockets in less than a century. All thanks to our super duper advanced technology and cool looking scientists, the world today has been changing massively. But still, one question remains. Which is better, wired or wireless? And now to Jace Coleman, who can't stop this world from turning, but can he answer this question for us?
Which is better, wired or wireless devices?
You know, that's a funny question because the answer is yes. It depends on your use case. So when it comes to wireless devices, they're very easy to connect. Like you can rove around the building and connect to a bunch of different wireless stuff. You don't have to carry a wire around. That's really, really easy for most of us. But wireless devices will always be slower than wired devices just because of the medium that we're using to send the data.
Wired devices tend to be more reliable. People who use Windows operating system for gaming traditionally use wired devices.
Definitely the fact that you don't have to carry a wire around. It's usually easier to connect between different networks more quickly. You don't have to worry about a lot of the issues with tangled wires is a real mess. We always call them a rat's nest, right? And even if you're trying to have good cable management, it's just so much easier just to have wireless devices because you don't have to deal with all the cables everywhere, running everywhere, and knowing what's connected to what.
Those who prefer to use a Mac operating system are switching to wireless keyboards and mice.
The reason is it's just easier to travel around without having to plug into somebody's network. Plus, we have Wi-Fi access points literally everywhere, right? So it's just more convenient, right? If you want more speed, you obviously want wired, right? But in some cases where it's not feasible to do that, wireless device is much easier.
This is Jace Coleman for Airwaves Media.
The Alma Library hosts many unique services to its visitors, but one specific service that they offer is 3D printing. The question is never in doubt that Louis Alexander has more on this interesting service.
The Alma Public Library has all sorts of things that even make 3D printed objects. We talked to one of the people that work with the 3D printer.
So you would need to look up what you want on Thingiverse.com and then you would fill out a form for us.
Let's see how much it costs to make one of these 3D printed objects.
It depends on the weight of the item. A lot of it is how much filament we use, but we also have these punch cards that you can fill out. Once filled out, you can get $8 worth of filament used for whatever you would like. So I have a crochet hook that somebody requested. We have skulls on it. It's just what they wanted. This is another popular one that catches everybody's attention. It is a spider cow that we also printed.
If you're looking for a 3D printed object, go down to the library, pick up one of these pamphlets, and use one of the websites listed. This is Louis Alexander with Airedale Media. Thank you for watching.
Gifts are always a wonderful thing to receive. Over the holidays, Alma Nursing and Rehab had some items donated, but from who? Let's take a look as Stetson Goodson makes a point to find out these thoughtful gestures.
School district students named Jolie and Allie took donations for Alma Nursing and Rehab residents for Christmas. Why would they do this, and what did they donate?
We thought it'd be a good way to spread Christmas cheer over the holidays, to donate blankets and socks, and then we also donated ice cream, like accessories like chocolate syrup and strawberry. So when they do like an ice cream sundae bar, they could have the ingredients to do that.
After hearing about what they gave to the residents, let's hear about their reactions.
They were surprised because I would think that some of them wouldn't really get presents on Christmas. But their reaction was like happy and joy because they got gifts that they actually would use and needed.
This has been Stetson Goodson from Airwaves Media.
As many of you have noticed, there's a big building being built behind the high school and is nearing completion. JJ Stovall and Devin Reed has more on this interesting construction.
All the construction happening in the activity center. Students must be wondering about its progress. So here's Mr. Biggs to tell you more about it.
We have an indoor, about a 200 by 200 turf field that's approximately 60 yards long by regulation football field width. So that's the tall part. Then we have an indoor batting cage for the softball and baseball team. Weight room for all athletics and activities. We also have a dressing room for the baseball and softball teams. The agri part, there's 2 agri classrooms, and we are building our agri department. And with that, we're trying to add a welding class, some other shop classes that we hope over time this facility is going to allow us to really develop a better agri classroom for our building community, what we have here at Alma.
The construction has been going on for over a year now, and the project completion date is coming soon. We talked to Mr. Biggs about when it will be done.
The completion date, the plan is to be finished ready for the next school year, so by August 1 for sure, but we hope it can be in the middle of July or sometime during the summer, but by next school year for sure.
This is JJ Stovall and Devin Reed signing off with Airwaves Media.
Thank you for watching this episode of The Airedale. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to all of our social medias at Airwaves Media. And as always,
go Airedales!